Make it look like your skin is not so angry at you for your bad life choices.
I will see you guys next week for me doing something stupid, probably. So I'll see you then. All right.
When one thinks of an exemplary YouTuber, Jenna Marbles is a name that often comes to mind, which is why her leaving the platform indefinitely was so sad.
Jenna Marbles announces her decision to move on from YouTube.
Jenna Marbles, the OG of YouTube, announced that she is leaving the platform.
When I saw that I'm sad! It's like the end of an era.
Honestly, she felt really genuine. She seemed like she was really trying to say how deeply sorry she was.
This sparked a huge debate online today because people are asking the question, should people be canceled for things they did a decade ago that they obviously don't mean to do today?
This year is just I'm done with it, man.
Welcome to Psych IRL. My name is Donna. Cancel culture. Yeah, it's one of those terms that is either overly used, sort of like toxic and problematic, or it's one of those terms that seems to be integrated into your vocabulary. However, these days, it seems like people believe cancel culture doesn't exist, or they believe anytime someone gets canceled by media, it's cancel culture. As you can intuitively tell, both these extremes don't necessarily paint the full picture. It's undeniable that social media and the internet has influenced our relationship with things like authenticity and justice. So to say that cancel culture doesn't exist would be dangerous. But also, on the other hand, to blame everything on cancel culture is very dismissive of bigger issues. So today, we're going to analyze how this has impacted our relationship between authenticity and justice. Jenna Marbles leaving the internet shows us that impact. Here's what happened. On June 25th, 2020, Jenna Marbles released a video called A Message, announcing she would be leaving her YouTube channel indefinitely.
And I don't want to put anything out in the world. It's going to hurt anybody. So I need to be done.
Jenna is offline. She is not on the internet. And as she announced in her video, she doesn't know if that's going to be forever. Could be a month, could be 6 months, could be forever.
This decision came after a number of viewers demanded an explanation for her past content. People felt this impersonation of Nicki Minaj was racially insensitive, along with a line in a music video in regards to Asians. Although not called out for these videos, Jenna also decided to delete videos that may be perceived as insensitive in the future. Skits that involve gender norms and other things. You can definitely argue all day about whether or not each of these videos qualify for the offense. Instead of going down that path, as many people have, I want to explore why this particular cancellation, for lack of a better word, marks a turning point for internet culture, the death of authenticity.
Imagine a world without corruption, where each citizen is held accountable for their actions. Welcome to Seraphim.
This system works.
Our justice system doesn't rely on the primitive infrastructure of justice. Rather, Seraphim relies on archives upon archives of citizen self-documentation and the collective of those citizens policing each other. Justice is no longer decided by a select few. Justice is decided by all citizens of Seraphim.
As opposed to a celebrity, a YouTuber is popular for a very different reason. One of the reasons fans like YouTubers is they are real, they are authentic. As a matter of fact, this very element is something I believe Jenna Marbles did so well to the point it's one of the leading factors that contributed to her channel's continued relevancy.
I remember watching Jenna and seeing her as someone who was, a girl my age who was outspoken on the internet. She wasn't afraid to speak her mind, she wasn't afraid to be outgoing, and at the time when I first started watching her, I was very sheltered, raised very conservative Christian, and I looked up to to somebody who could be like that and so confident, and I just aspired to be able to get there one day. And I think a big part of the reason why I'm even confident enough to have my channel is because I watched YouTubers like her kind of pave the way for people.
I made a video about it that did fairly well. In it, I explained the common misconception of what it means to be authentic. My channel has grown a fair amount since then, so I'm sure many new viewers still fall victim to that misconception. I asked you on Instagram what it means to be an authentic influencer. This is what you said. You see, that's what happens when you follow me on Instagram. You get to be part of the video, so if you want to be part of the video, follow me. According to you, an authentic creator means this. Not trying too hard to be a YouTuber and just being a person. Hope that makes sense. They're honest about their personality, their opinions, and their content. They aren't fake. You can actually relate to them. They're open about their mental health insecurities. The YouTuber shows the good and the bad, not just looking to show a highlight reel. It means that they don't pretend that their YouTube persona is who they actually are. Not possible. Every time the camera turns on, a persona comes up. Those are some pretty standard definitions of authenticity, but they don't paint the whole picture.
In my research on leadership transitions, I have observed that career advances require all of us to move way beyond our comfort zones. At the same time, however, they trigger a strong countervailing impulse to protect our identities. When we are unsure of ourselves or our ability to perform well or measure up in a new setting, we often retreat to familiar behaviors and styles.
Ibarra argues during a transition period, a job promotion perhaps, or a change in YouTube's algorithm, one must get out of their comfort zone in order to adapt. And this may make you feel like not yourself, but this isn't a good way to look at authenticity.
The moments that most challenge our sense of self are the ones that can teach us the most about leading effectively. By viewing ourselves as works in progress and evolving our professional identities through trial and error, we can develop a personal style that feels right to us and suits our organization's changing needs. That takes courage, because learning, by definition, starts with unnatural and often superficial behaviors that can make us feel calculating instead of genuine and spontaneous. But the only way to avoid being pigeonholed and ultimately become better leaders is to do things that a rigidly authentic sense of self would keep us from doing.
People shouldn't be looked at as people with fixed values. As Ibarra said, look at people like an unfinished work of art. Allow them to change. Allow them to grow. It may feel inauthentic for a while, but that's how authenticity actually is. If not, they become stagnant in their ways. Early YouTubers, including Jenna Marbles, exemplified Ibarra's research on authenticity. A channel was treated like a diary, so every upload would be comparable to one journal entry. A video is a mere glimpse of a creator's thoughts that day, whether they get something off their chest or they feel like doing something creative. You don't get a full picture of a person reading one entry, like you don't get a full picture of a YouTuber watching one video. To better understand them, you need to read the whole diary to see how much development this person has shown. Jenna Marbles is an ideal example of what Ibarra calls authentic. Her channel was very much treated like a diary. There are references she makes to her past viewers wouldn't be able to catch unless they've been avid viewers of her channel. This now deleted video, for instance, was made years ago. Jenna discusses Halloween costumes for girls and how there often seems to be two types. To put it lightly, sexy and quirky?
Because if you're not the type of girl that wants to dress up like a that's your choice. No one's hating on you for being a toothbrush.
So Jenna says she dresses the former, but if a girl wants to dress up as a toothbrush, she can. More recently, Jenna has referenced this video by dressing up like a toothbrush.
What are you doing?
I want to be a toothbrush for Halloween.
This moment to me really signified how Jenna treats her channel, like a diary. In this video, she didn't explicitly say, a long time ago I had a video about Halloween costumes and now how I dress has changed. Jenna simply continued writing in her diary and she showed us that she's in a different stage of life.
I'm a toothbrush!
So, as someone who has been on the platform for over 10 years, she's bound to have documented things that are seen as unsavory today.
People keep bringing it up and bringing it up. It's like, what can you do, you know? But I think all of us who have been on the internet that long, Who has not among us over a 10-year career on YouTube done or said something that by today's standard will look horrible? Nobody. I mean, nobody.
Someone was like, I didn't like when she made fun of him by calling him gay, but it shows how she's grown in the past few years as a person. It's very true. I've said words in the past that just aren't okay. A lot of my older videos, like I said some words that are just offensive. I think having a comment section and always reading the comments has helped me a lot as a person. You know, kind of grew up and realized that I don't want to talk like that. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to use the words that I use, and so I just stopped.
There's no question that some of those videos weren't great, to say the least, but longtime fans have seen Jenna's progression with videos such as these.
Jenna Marbles deserves an apology. I just have no idea who's going to give it to her. She did everything right, essentially. Jenna Marbles' growth and development over the course of her YouTube career is what we expect out of people. She is the gold standard. Like, we expect that people aren't going to be great people coming into it. We expect that if we're going to continue to watch you, that you be the best you that you can be.
Her leaving the platform wasn't a result of longtime fans being okay with that behavior. It was the result of new fans not seeing the progression from old Jenna to new Jenna. Without those mistakes, Jenna wouldn't be who she is today. This is authenticity. It's a process. The process of living authentically is an imminent part of developing oneself. Without even realizing it, this is how we view most of the people who are closest to us. We know they weren't always perfect. Sometimes we even experience those imperfect moments with them, but we allow them in our lives because we've also seen them progress and change. However, social media and the internet can disrupt this process entirely.
Sharing your life online it has its pros and cons. It has its ups and downs, and it's just sort of a weird path that we're all currently on. Those of us that are on social media or the internet, think about what it is that we consume and what we share is like a complicated subject that we're all sort of dealing with for the first time. Let alone people that also have their like career, their relationship, and all of that also wrapped up into that is extra complicated.
I was watching The Good Place, and it reminded me of how this disruption is occurring. The show is about a woman who finds herself in the afterlife.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead.
Cool. She's relieved, but more and more she thinks someone may have made a mistake. She meets a group of other humans, and together they navigate their way through the afterlife, blah blah blah. It's a good show, trust me. Towards the end of this series, there was a particular moment that caught my attention. This involved a human named Jason and a not a girl robot named Janet. Spoiler alert, fast forward if you do not want to know what happens. Jason and Janet get into a relationship in the afterlife.
You two are married.
Hells yeah, homie.
After 1,000,000 years of spending his time in the good place, Jason realizes that he's done and wants to disappear into oblivion. Because in order for something to be heaven or good or happy continuously, it needs to end. You cannot know good without knowing bad. Of course, this means Jason and Janet will need to break up. He's a human, and she's an AI designed to manage the good place. But he's worried that once he does walk into the door that'll make him disappear into oblivion, she will forget about him. She says this.
I'm never gonna forget you. In fact, to me, you won't even really be gone. I don't experience time the same way you do. I kind of live all times at once. To me, remembering moments with you is the same as living in them.
Our phones allow us to become more and more like Janet the robot. Almost everything is documented at all ages, stages of life, and even emotions. We can't forget. Everything that's been recorded is like the present. Instead of seeing someone live authentically in a linear fashion, as humans are naturally supposed to, our phones allow us to peer into any stage of life, the good and the bad.
We're already a cyborg. I mean, you have a digital version of yourself or partial version of yourself online in the form of your emails and your social media and all the things that you do. And you have basically superpowers in that with your computer and your phone and the applications that are there. You have more power than the President of the United States had 20 years ago. That you can answer any question, you can video conference with anyone, anywhere, you can send a message to millions of people instantly, just do incredible things.
Although we have the capabilities of an AI, like Janet, we're still bound by human emotion. Instead of treating each of these moments as a mere piece of the whole, we sometimes treat a past moment like it's the present. Like, the thing you posted 10 years ago is still how you think today. If authenticity is like a diary, social media and the internet takes entries in that diary and shows it to individuals who may be interested in certain entries via the algorithm. The issue with that? The entry that goes viral can be a result of someone finding something they don't like. When new fans find that troubling entry, many are unlikely to read the entire diary that led the creator to the point they are now. Perhaps the reason past content is treated like the present is because having the videos as a visual is more emotionally stimulating than hearing of someone's dark past. It's not necessarily the new fans' fault either. I can absolutely understand the anger that comes from seeing something disturbing no matter how long ago it was. I, for instance, was deeply disturbed when I heard about something resurfacing from the creator of Rick and Morty.
Dan Harmon, the creative mind behind Rick and Morty and Community, is apologizing after a controversial video of an old comedy sketch resurfaced online. The video was a spoof of the Showtime series Dexter.
Now, I'm not gonna go too into detail about this, but even the "it's a joke" people can't explain this one. Now, he's already apologized for this, and the people who saw that back then have come to terms with what he did. They either forgave him or completely never touched his work again.
My opinion on this whole topic is I still love Rick and Morty. I'm still gonna keep watching the show.
I'm completely against this, and I will not watch Rick and Morty.
As someone who is an avid watcher of Rick and Morty, I was deeply disturbed, and honestly, I'm still trying to process what to do next. Usually in situations such as this, if something resurfaces and it isn't connected to some sort of crime or even anything alleged, I put the emotional burden on myself. Meaning that I don't try to go and expose or cancel someone online. I, myself, decide if I want to, from this point on, continue watching their work or not, or if I want to take a break. Jenna Marbles has since deleted over 2 billion views worth of videos, which shows the decline of authenticity. If you look at her current videos now, they all seem to be the current Jenna, maybe with slightly different humor.
This is the crazy thing to me. The fact that she deleted her how guys act or how girls act videos, because those are very popular. I feel like those are the videos that helped make her Jenna Marbles in the first place.
Me excited. Happy morning. Oh my god, I'm so late. Lex, gun show. Come at me, bro. What? I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Now that we know the internet treats everything like it's the present, Jenna felt like she had no choice but to delete videos that may be perceived as offensive in the future. Not only are opinions, jokes, and views treated as the present, but problems you're going through that are documented are as well.
That decision in my life to post that lives there forever and seems like my present thought, which is the weird thing about YouTube. Your videos from 10 years ago, it's like, oh, that's him. Your video from a week ago, oh, that's him. It will be him forever. What I mean is, like, there's no going back. Like, I became a public person, and if I leave, my life gets taken over by something else. Like, if I don't tell you guys what I'm doing, it's kind of like somebody else tells you. It feels like my life is out of my control at times unless I take control of it. It's just strange that my own narrative sort of runs away from me and I need to grab it.
I am in no way saying that Jenna shouldn't have deleted those videos because I believe she made the right decision. But she deleted a lot. Some I wish she didn't, and I personally found them not to be offensive at all. The reason for this is that she no longer believed what she stood for in those videos. But this is erasing authenticity. We can no longer see the changes she's made. Although disappointing for longtime fans, knowing the nature of the internet, I completely understand why Jenna made the decision she made. So here, I was supposed to insert a clip of Philip DeFranco reacting to his old videos. But this particular clip and video he deleted. The now deleted video from Phil went something like this. He was reacting to old videos he did discussing current events. His old work, of course, was cringy and not PC.
Monkey? I like the monkey. Monkey. I look like the monkey. You are the monkey.
He then gave his reasons for keeping them on the channel. Those reasons, I feel like, capture the spirit of authenticity and why people gravitated toward YouTubers in the first place. Phil said he kept those videos up because it allowed people to see how much he's progressed as a person. He didn't want to hide any of that from his viewers. That spirit of authenticity has died on this site. Philip DeFranco's earliest videos is now from 3 years ago. He's deleted things on his vlog channels as well. On his main channel, he has deleted over 1 billion views worth of videos. Coincidentally, or maybe not, it was right around the time Jenna made her video announcing she would be leaving the internet. DeFranco isn't the only one either. A number of creators have silently deleted videos right around that period as well. Gabby Hanna deleted over 35 million views worth of videos. PewDiePie, 380 million. Liza Koshy, 61 million. Miranda Sings, 15 million. Joey Garcefa, 5 million. The list goes on and on. Creators who have been on the platform long enough already know this phenomenon is happening and are taking precautions against it.
I think there was a time when having all of my old content exist on the internet showed how much I have grown up as a person, which I'm very proud of. And I think now it's hard for that content to exist at all because I think people watch it and don't bother to look at when it was posted or, care about what path I took to get to where I am.
Again, I feel like these YouTubers made the right choice by deleting content they felt like didn't represent them anymore. That should be normalized. If we go back to our diary example though, this would be like the creator ripping up pivotal entries in their diaries. As you can see, we can no longer get the full picture of authenticity. Now, we can certainly put up the debate whether or not we need to see that full picture, and I think I'll throw that question to you. How do you feel about these creators deleting a number of their videos? Current YouTubers believe they're insulated from this phenomenon entirely. They assume their past controversies will remain in their past because their current audience has seen their life progress.
When I did my thing and I made my mistake, I think people understood that I was in many ways still a child. I still am. But there was a lot of room to grow. 22-year-old. I had the luxury of being able to grow out of it and people being able to very viscerally see me change.
So I see what you're saying. So you were young at the time that the mistake came out and people were like, oh, he's young, present tense. He's young, he'll get better.
No. I don't even think they said that. I just did. And they saw it. And they witnessed it. Not even open. There was no, if you followed my journey at all, you'd know there was an evolution.
Yeah, absolutely.
Logan is correct for now, but I believe he only assumes this because, relatively speaking, he's been a YouTuber for a short time. He's also kept the same audience. Perhaps they've grown up a little bit more. The many YouTubers I mentioned have also shown an evolution in their journey. The difference is they've been on the platform longer, garnered a different audience, or both. Another 5 years down the line, if Logan Paul does remain a relevant influencer, he probably will face the same dilemma as his predecessors. I saw a number of comments and even published articles that said cancel culture wasn't responsible for Jenna leaving the platform, and that she actually was using this as an out. Some began to speculate that they could tell Jenna wasn't passionate about her content anymore, and that they could see that in the recent episodes. Since we're all speculating here, I couldn't disagree more. I think Jenna really enjoyed being a YouTuber. She'd take the opportunity if presented, but her goal didn't seem like it was to be an actor or director or anything in the traditional entertainment realm.
What's going on with you? What have you been up to lately, and what do you kind of want to do for the rest of the year?
Nothing.
She didn't even do sponsors in her videos.
I think that with the internet, the most important thing that you have is that you're a genuine person and that people trust you and they trust that when they turn on YouTube, it's really you. And I think that, working with brands and things can be great, and a lot of people do it really well. But for me, it feels very much like stuffing my own pockets with money and taking advantage of the people that are there to see me.
So money doesn't drive you?
No.
What does drive you?
Fun.
Hey bitch, it's me, your chair.
Oh my god.
Even if she were burnt out, I don't believe that Jenna Marbles would use this incident as an out. Perhaps some of you did see signs of burnout.
Where I'm like, I don't care, I'll stay up until 7 in the morning and figure something out. And I kind of maybe want to let go of that attitude because I think a younger version of myself, I'm 33 now. Thank you very much for all the birthday wishes. You guys are great. I would stay up all night. I would try and figure out something else. I'm honestly exhausted. And to try and film a third video tonight, I think it's just, you know, it's probably a bad decision for my health in the long run. So I'm gonna stop doing that.
But I also believe Jenna has a lot of respect for her viewers to leave suddenly like that. I think Jenna is one of the few YouTubers who really enjoy the interaction between her and her viewers. She's had a history of receiving comments and taking into consideration what the critic has to say without calling them a hater. In a video by Freely the Banana Girl called Why Has Jenna Marbles Gained Weight?, Freely speculates that Jenna has gained weight because she goes off of her vegan diet.
A couple of years or a year or so, and Jenna is really starting to put on weight. Okay, she's not fat by any means, but she is definitely gaining weight. So the people out there saying, oh, you're fat shaming Freely, you're fat shaming blah, blah, blah. No, get over it. Clearly just making an observation, she is gaining weight. So why is she? Because she has gone off her predominantly vegan plan.
Many, including the commenters of this video, call this bullying. I call this bullying. Not only does Jenna Marbles respond to the video, but she invites Freely to her podcast as well.
I think that everyone deserves to have an opinion and a voice. So even, you know, if I was not a vegan or our views did not align in any of those respects, I would still like to sit in a room and hear someone express why they think a certain way or feel a certain way.
She was receptive of her criticism. With a title like that, I certainly wouldn't. There are even videos where it seems like Jenna is taking the mean comments to heart.
You're a bad, bad person. I don't know what I did to deserve that.
For her to use this as an out would be so out of character for Jenna. I truly believed what she said in that video. This affected her greatly. She felt bad and she didn't want to be part of it anymore. We're talking about someone who has made a 47-minute apology video because of a fish
I'd
tank.
like to at least be like making this into something where people can have a better idea of what to do in the future and what not to do in the future, because I made a mistake and it was my fault and I feel terrible for it.
What I don't understand about cancel culture, or whatever it is you want to define this, people accuse you of apologizing too late just because you got caught. Or they do what they did to Jenna Marbles. They say she didn't need to apologize because no drama videos were being made about her. What? I think Jenna did exactly the right thing. Even before being called out, Jenna addressed something she didn't like and she took action.
I just wanted to come on with Julian and let you guys know this is the end of the Jen and Julian podcast. And if I think about it too much, and if I say here too much, I'm probably going to cry.
Yeah.
And I can't really look at Julian because I'm probably going to cry. But I wanted to say thank you so much for, all of your support over however many years we've been doing this.
Long time, yeah.
This is like one of the sources of so much happiness and laughter and joy and such a good time. And I'm so glad that so many of you had such a good time with us, and all good things come to an end, and that's okay.
Social media has allowed us to authentically express ourselves and share those experiences without the limits of our geographical location. We've been able to peer into intimate moments we wouldn't otherwise see, unless we were in someone else's circle. Not only has it allowed us to make global connections, but it's allowed us to come together for important issues. Despite all the positive outcomes this tech has brought, it's also exposed our darker side, our desire to look at someone's mistakes while ignoring progress that may have been made because it wasn't recorded. Perhaps future influencers will take note of this inevitable occurrence and adapt. Our archived lives on social media are looked upon as present ideas, and because of that, the new norm may be going back and deleting content that doesn't fit with the modern day us. Who knows what this will result in? Boring, polished individuals we can't relate with anymore? Manufactured personalities that only express opinions and ideals that are pleasing to the masses? Or maybe I'm being too pessimistic. Maybe everyone's lives will be recorded and we begin to empathize that past mistakes are major life turning points that help us become better people. Yeah, right. Content like this is popular because we want to see someone just like us. But we didn't become us without the mistakes we made. Those mistakes are included in the full picture of an authentic person. This authenticity is why we like the internet. So please, don't let this be the death of authenticity. Good thing that'll all just be in the future, right? That's the end of the video. I'll see you guys next time. Stay psyched.
Here at Seraphim, we value authenticity. We want you to be open, honest, and real with your fellow citizens. Record your thoughts and share them for all to see.